Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another gear raffle and review. Today, guys, we're going to take a look at Outdoor Vitals 0 Degree Mummy Sleeping Bag. So, let's get right into it. I still got my coffee. Delicious! Stinking recording outside in the snow. If you are new to the gear raffle and review, head on over to my Patreon page where for as little as $1 a month you can get entered in every single gear raffle that I do. My first impressions of this sleeping bag right out of the box were pretty fantastic. First off, price-wise, you can't beat it. This is last year's model at about 180 bucks. If you want to go with the new model, it's about 240, and we'll get into the difference here in a bit. And with a weight at 2 pounds 12 ounces for a 0 degree bag, that's pretty awesome. That doesn't include the stuff sack. With the stuff sack, you're going to be 2 pounds 14.8 ounces, which is still a pretty light sleeping bag for being 0 degree. Now, I went over the sleeping bag with a magnifying glass and I was looking at all the stitching and stuff, and this is a solid product. I won't get into too much detail, but it's definitely worth the price. Now, testing the sleeping bag out, I would say, in my opinion, the rating on this sleeping bag is a little bit lower than it should be. Now, I say that because I don't believe it's a real comfortable sleep at 0 degrees. I'm not typically a warm sleeper. I would say I'm about average, and at 0 degrees, I was a little bit chilly. I think a comfort rating for this sleeping bag is going to be more in that 5 to 10 degree range. If you're a cold sleeper and you don't mind sleeping in cold weather, you may be a 0, but for people that want to be more comfortable, this is going to be a 10 degree bag. Again, my opinion. The zipper on the bag seems to work pretty good, but like all zippers, it tends to want to catch. It's pretty accessible from inside the bag, but I would love to see the sleeping bag that comes out that makes a perfect zipper that works in all scenarios, but this seems to be about average. Inside the bag, I felt like I had plenty of room. In my opinion, maybe a little too much room. I'm okay sleeping pretty compressed, and when I roll on my side, I always roll with the sleeping bag. I never try to roll inside of it, so I don't feel like I need the extra room. This tended to feel pretty roomy, especially in the hood, which may be beneficial if you like to have a pillow or something. This would even have room to potentially put that pillow inside the hood. It does have a neck closure to close up around your neck to keep all that heat in. It seemed a little bit like an afterthought. Not a whole lot of detail went into it. The functionality is there, but there's not a whole lot of padding. So when you close it tight, you can feel the cord that you're closing kind of around your neck, and it's not the most comfortable. I love that the feature is there, but like I said, it feels kind of like an afterthought. One thing I really did like about this sleeping bag is how small that it compresses down, about the size of a sleeping baby. But I do think that they could get away with compressing this even a little bit more. So I think the compression sack needs to be designed a little smaller. If you're going to include a compression sack, you should allow it to compress this to as small as possible. This has some room. This could go smaller, but I'm at the limit of the compression sack itself. Now you can go out and get your own compression sack, a smaller one to get this even smaller. Me personally, I actually carried this loose inside my ULA CDT pack. Because it's a frameless pack, I used it as basically the cushion and the support in the back of the pack. So I actually carried this loose in my pack and stuffed things around it. So the stuff sack wasn't that important. If you're a person that really likes stuff sacks, this will go smaller than this. Note, you should never store your sleeping bag compressed. Your sleeping bag relies heavily on the loft of the insulation. Prolonged periods of being compressed will affect its ability to loft. Sleeping bags should either be stored hung or in a large bag. This will ensure that they will work properly. One of my main beefs with the sleeping bag is the fact that I got this for about $180, and the new model comes out with this special down, and it's an extra like $60 or $70 to get this special down. And when I looked into it, the storm loft down or whatever it is, I'll put it there, I can't remember, but when looking into it, it basically says that it's a little bit more moisture resistant down. That's it? For an extra $60 or $70, you're treating the down. For me, it's not worth it. I say save a little bit, get yourself the 2017 model. I mean, it's a pretty inexpensive sleeping bag, and it's even better deal if you get the older model. I don't tend to worry too much about whether my down is waterproof because I find it quite easy to keep my sleeping bag and my gear dry. On my whole through hike of the AT, I never got the gear wet that I wanted to keep dry. I don't find it that difficult, so I don't find it necessary to spend extra money on treated down that just helps a little bit when it gets wet. Now, if that's important to you, or if you have a tent that tends to condensate a lot, that may be an issue. You know, go ahead if you have the extra money. You know, you can get the top tier down. But for me, like I said, it's just not that important. There you go, guys. That's my review of Outdoor Vitals 0 Degree sleeping bag. Straight and to the point, I like it. I think it's worth the money. If you're looking for a sleeping bag, I would suggest it. I'll put a link in the description and check it out. Before I get to the raffle, guys, I just wanted to tell you that the winner of this sleeping bag is not going to be limited to just the 0 Degree model. The winner of this bag is going to get their choice of any of the temperature ratings from Outdoor Vitals and the size of their choosing. Pretty stinking awesome, huh? All right, it is time for the raffle. Drum roll, please. And the winner of the 0 Degree sleeping bag from Outdoor Vitals is Teragram. Congratulations, Teragram. You got yourself a new sleeping bag from Outdoor Vitals. Up next, guys, we're going to review and raffle off a pair of Speedcross 4 trail runners from Salomon. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video has been informative. And if you're new, head on over to the Patreon page and get signed up for every raffle. But like always, guys, remember, these reviews are just my opinion. And if you don't like it, you can go take a hike. Bye-bye. Sleep me bag buddy. I like it, I dig it, I want more of it.